Imagine for a moment you wake up tomorrow morning, look out your window, and your entire city is just gone. No buildings, no cars, no people. Just an eerie silence where a bustling metropolis once stood. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, right? A myth, a legend. But in ancient Greece, for one prosperous city, this nightmare became a shocking reality. This is the true story of Helike, the city that vanished in a single night. Let's travel back in time, over 2,000 years ago. Helike wasn't just any city. It was a shining jewel of ancient Greece. Picture bustling marketplaces filled with the scent of spices and olive oil, grand temples dedicated to Poseidon, the mighty god of the sea, and scholars gathering under the stars, their voices echoing with debates about philosophy and the nature of the universe. It was the capital of the Achaean League, a powerful confederation of city-states. Helike was built on ambition, wealth, and a belief in its own unending progress. But beneath all that glory, deep within the earth and the sea, something was waiting to awaken. The people of Helike craved greatness. Their ambition was to build a legacy that would not just last for generations, but one that would rival the power and prestige of Athens itself. They built grander temples, more opulent homes, and stronger walls. They believed their prosperity was a sign of divine favor, a testament to their strength. But in their quest for glory, they started to ignore the subtle, then not so subtle, warnings. The ground would occasionally tremble. Animals, from snakes to mice, were seen fleeing the city in droves days before the disaster. The sea itself seemed restless, whispering warnings on the tide. Ancient myths, stories passed down through generations, spoke of Poseidon's wrath. He was the earth shaker, the ruler of the waves, and he demanded respect. But the citizens of Helike, confident in their own power, had perhaps turned away from their patron god, growing arrogant and complacent. They dismissed the signs as mere quirks of nature, forgetting the very forces that had allowed their city to thrive by the sea. They wanted to be masters of their own destiny, but they were about to be reminded who was truly in charge. Then, on one catastrophic winter night in 373 BC, the unthinkable happened. It began with a terrifying roar from deep within the earth. A colossal earthquake, unlike anything anyone had ever experienced, violently shook the city to its foundations. Buildings didn't just crumble. They were torn apart as the ground itself split open. Temples dedicated to Poseidon collapsed into rubble, and fires erupted, spreading panic through the darkness. But the horror was far from over. Within minutes of the quake, a monstrous wave, a tsunami, surged from the Gulf of Corinth. It didn't just crash against the shore, it completely engulfed the city, a wall of water that swallowed everything in its path. By the time the sun rose the next morning, Helike was gone. It had been entirely submerged, swallowed by the sea. The survivors, those who were traveling or lived on higher ground, could only stare in disbelief at the empty, churning water where their home once stood. For centuries that followed, sailors passing over the area told ghost stories. They claimed that on calm days, you could peer into the depths and still see the lost city glowing beneath the waves, the ghostly outlines of its buildings and temples shimmering in the deep, a civilization frozen in its final tragic moment. For nearly 2,400 years, Helike remained a legend, a cautionary tale, often mistaken for the mythical Atlantis. Many searched for it, but the city remained lost, buried under the sea and the shifting sands of time. But the story doesn't end there. In the late 1980s, two archaeologists, driven by the ancient texts, began a systematic search. They hypothesized that the city wasn't in the deep sea, but further inland, buried under layers of sediment from an ancient lagoon. Finally, in 2001, their perseverance paid off. They rediscovered the ruins of Helike, not in the deep ocean, but beneath meters of silt and clay. And what they unearthed was astounding. The city was remarkably preserved, building foundations, pottery, tools, and even the bones of its unfortunate inhabitants. The archaeological evidence painted a clear and terrifying picture, one that confirmed both the ancient myths and modern science. The layers of earth told the story of a massive earthquake, liquefaction of the soil, and a devastating tsunami. It was one of the earliest and most detailed accounts of such a natural disaster in recorded history. Helike wasn't just a myth, it was real. The rediscovery of Helike is more than just an incredible archaeological find. It's a timeless and humbling reminder. It teaches us that no civilization, no matter how advanced, wealthy, or powerful, is immune to the forces of nature. The very sea that gave Helike its life, its trade routes, and its patron god, was the same force that took it all away in an instant. Its story echoes through history, a powerful testament to the delicate balance between human ambition and the natural world. So, the next time you hear the legend of Atlantis, that grand city sunk beneath the waves, remember Helike, because the real one, the city that vanished overnight, has already been found. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more tales from the depths of history. Let me know in the comments what other lost cities or ancient mysteries you'd like to explore next. See you in the next video.